Hey gang, what's happening? Good to good to be here, live and alive, something like that. Basically, what's happening today is I am doing a bit of just a very small test stream, as the title would portray. The goal of this stream, right, is essentially I'm trying to figure out if I can do like cross streaming across YouTube and Twitch, and it's surprisingly complicated to work out, especially without going live and like actually testing all this shit to see if it works. So in theory, right now I am streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. Although, as you may be aware, and as all the little YouTube icons in the chat are showing, YouTube is the place where most of my my audience is. So either way, it's good to see people. So the purpose of this is basically to make sure that I can still stream, nothing breaks on me. Does Twitch and YouTube streaming work at the same time? And to try this out, we're going to play a little bit of Point Blank 3 or whichever way you want to put it out. But otherwise, good to see everybody in the chat. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's having a lovely Saturday. I've been eating lots of scones today, and I feel very full. Oh god, let's have a little look at all these chat things. Hey gang, let me go through all these things. Hey Lucas Austin, hey System Monitor, Chadman, the Chadman himself, Fernando Pimp Stallion 8474. What a name, my god. Valen Summers, Business Cat, Samurai Jack, Starry Night, Highboard Games, Danfer Plus. All the lads are here. Starchild Duke, Eugene the supporter, Foodard, Lucas Austin, Pantera Player, Jade Kitten, Mike, Foolhardy Queso, Cake Swindle, Cecilio Limber. Oh, that's a hard name. Cecilio Limber Lichio. I'm gonna go for go for it. But hey, it's good to see everybody in the chat. I hope everybody's keeping well. So yeah, just to recap again, purpose of the stream is to make sure that I remember how to stream, and that all the things that I set up to co-stream between Twitch and YouTube work for me here. Will they work? We're about to find out. Who knows? But it seems to be going okay so far. Anyway, Point Blank 3. That's the game I decided I'm going to use this as a little test for, because I figured if I wanted to play anything for a brief amount of time, by the way, this stream is literally only going to be about like 10 or 15 minutes, not going to be a huge thing. I figured if I'm going to play a game for 10 or 15 minutes, this is the game that I would play for 10 or 15 minutes. Well, at least one of the Point Blanks anyway. And I don't think I've played a tremendous amount of the third one here, so why the hell not? So yeah, good to see everybody though. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a little while. In case people are wondering, I am in fact alive and working on a video. It's slightly longer video than usual, so you know it's gonna take me a little while, but yeah. And yeah, this is Point Blank, one of my favorite games. Oh no, that's bad. This is already off to a bad start. I don't have the light gun. I'm using a lovely little controller, which is not the ideal way to do this. And I'll give you a hint if you are wondering, because I am seeing there people saying it's going to be the next every game. It's not going to be in every game. It's going to be a long video on a single game. Well, I say long. I don't know how long it's going to be. I kind of just write the video and edit the whole thing, and then whatever time it's going to be, it ends up just being that way. Oh dear. This is my one brain cell trying to work at the same time. Oh. Okay. 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 Come back. Come back. There we go. There we go. Look at this. Physics. Yeah. Physics. Still got it. Ah. It's good. You know, realistically, right, I have been planning to do more streams. I bought like a new camera. I got a... Well, that's literally it. All I got is a new camera. That's that's basically it. The purpose of this camera, I'm going to show it to you, right, is that the camera is on a gimbal. So I can move things around at a moment's notice if needs be, right? So in an ideal world, right, my cat would be here beside me. And then I have a button that will show the cat. There is no cat here currently, though. It's sleeping in a different room. Oh, my God. But as you can see, right, that's a great purpose. I literally was like, if I'm going to buy a camera for one purpose, it's going to be to show the cat that's normally sleeping on my desk. But, of course, it's not here at the moment. So, you know, what are you going to do? Sad times. Oh, Orla's in the chat. Orla is downstairs, and I didn't tell her I was going to go live on the stream, so she probably thinks I'm just an absolute psychopath, but, you know. What's new? Oh, did I pass that? Fair play. Yeah. So we're all here. Basically, cat cam is the purpose, right? Cat cam. Imagine a bed and a nice soft cat here at all times. That's the dream. Oh shit, what is this game? Oh no, I did not look at the instructions. Oh, I've made a huge mistake. Oh, okay. No. Is it pick highest card? Okay, it's pick highest card. I figured it out. Dreadful. Dreadful. See, look at that. You can see there, Adam Skyair is a single Twitch viewer. I've got 1 viewer on Twitch and 70 on YouTube. That's the beauty of it. I don't really have any like sort of affinity or desire to stream on Twitch, but you know, I figured if you're gonna like share the wealth, so to speak, I might as well do both at the same time if I can. Look at this smarter boy. What's your opinion on the Welsh? I love the Welsh. Welsh are great. Some of my best friends over here are from Wales. Oh, was that it? Sick. Alright, cool. Yeah. Since moving over to the UK, I've had a really good track record of making friends with Welsh people. I don't know if that's just like a particular thing that I happen to seek out. I don't think it is. But the Welsh have been very kind to me. And I really appreciate that. Good at rugby also. Or so I believe. I'm not really a rugby guy. This game is called Point Blank, and this is the 3rd entry in the series. The best way to explain it is it's kind of like, if you've ever played WarioWare before, it's kind of like WarioWare in light gun form. Just quick fire mini games where you gotta do little things with your gun. It's I'd like to say like it's a non-violent light gun game. The most you'll ever shoot in this is like cardboard or dragons or a tremendous amount of animals. You do shoot a lot of animals. So, you know, it's kind of probably like one of those Cabela games. You shoot a lot of animals in those Cabela games, let me tell you. Yeah, there was a real big kind of period in the arcades in the 90s where all these minigame, quickfire minigame things appeared. Oh, look at that. Following. Yeah, there you go. See? That's a... Oh, dear. Fucked up. Yeah. The hard part, right? So the hard part of getting the stream set up is trying to set up, like, the, what is it? The notifications that come up. So, like, if somebody follows you or somebody subscribes or someone does a super chat, getting that to kind of work between Twitch and YouTube is a bit tricky. So that was kind of the main thing I wanted to see if that worked or not. And it looks like it might. So that's a good thing. That's positive. Oh, yeah. Like, seriously, if people like, if you like light gun games and you like WarioWare, this is like maybe one of the best light gun games you could play. There's a few light gun games like this actually, but this is the best for sure. Best series at least. I don't know if I'd call Point Blank 3 the best in the series, but you know, you can't go wrong with any of them. Except maybe the DS one, but you can't even go wrong with the DS one. It's just instead of shooting, you're just tapping stuff, but that's still fun. Also, the music's insane, as you can probably hear. Yeah, and you can play this with a friend too. And this is where I'd play it with my friend if I had one. Come on, no life shit. 1 in 4 chance, and I got absolutely nothing. Hell yeah, look at that. It's working. It's working. It's not the... It's working. It's not the fanciest system in the world, but it's working. I need to make that thing a little bit bigger. But look, we got different pictures, different sound effects. I feel like a pro over here. Yeah. See, I'm not actually streaming on Point Blank on Twitch. I just have it set to retro. The other hard part about streaming multiple things at a time is that you have to keep going in and tweaking what games you're playing, all these different features across the both YouTube and Twitch. And I would be more inclined to do this if I wasn't doing a test stream. So right now everything is just a bit vague and nondescript. Oh my god. Let me have a quick read of this. Mario Terrace Love. Oh, Sean, I didn't ask in your Japan only video. Did you manage to do an all clear of Little Ralph, or somehow missed that? I made it as far as stage 5 too. I sure did do an all clear for surezies. I played like Little Ralph a whole bunch of times, but when you like play Little Ralph, it defaults to easy. So the first time you play it, if you don't actually look to change the difficulty, you're probably gonna make it to 5-2. Oh dear. Alright, where is the fake guy? Or fake guys, should I say? Got them all. Have you ever played the Silver Case? I haven't played... You know, I actually have one of the Silver Case games sitting in my Steam library at the moment. I think it's one of the newer ones. But I'd like to kind of go back and play them all in one go. Although I feel like I'd really need to be in the mood to play the Silver Case, if that makes sense. Although I've recently just finished Romeo is a Dead Man. So I am on a bit of a Suda kick at the moment. And I really, really enjoyed Romeo is a Dead Man. That's probably one of my favorite Suda games that I played. So maybe I'll have to really give the Silver Case a bit of attention soon. Can I make an 8? Yeah, a little bit easier playing this game with a controller, as you'd imagine, but still a lot of fun. Oh no, I say easier, still terrible. Hello there. Are any other liking games? I want to see an Elmo game, the Lemur game, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers. Oh yeah. Look, Juan, I'll get as many of these games in as I can someday. I guarantee you. Have you ever played Aviary Attorney? No, I have not played Aviary Attorney, but it's another one that I've heard good things about. There was like that real period of just getting cool bird-based games. You know, like all the Hateful Boyfriend and whatnot as well. Where you could just take an established genre and just add birds into it. That's pretty good. Oh, you're playing Shadows of the Damned right now? That's another one that I haven't played. But playing Romeo's a Dead Man made me think, oh, maybe I should actually play Shadows of the Damned if I can get around to it. I have a lot of... Like, the problem is, like, there's too many games, and I would like to play them all. And I'm having to really ration out what I'm trying to play. Right now I'm playing Marathon, and I'm not like a multiplayer shooter kind of guy normally, especially in this day and age. But my god, Marathon has its hooks into me deep. It's really, really fun. Dear god. Shoot at least 18 targets without missing. Yeah, that's where the controller kind of makes things a little bit broken. I hope the next video is that Nickelodeon video. It's not the Nickelodeon video, but the Nickelodeon video is on the cards for sooner rather than later. Because I would love to get... Like, that Nickelodeon video has been, like... I've had the idea for that video for at least 2 or 3 years now. And I would love to get it done and out there. Probably just an excuse to play Rugrats. But, you know, what are you going to do? Oh, okay. Oh, do I have to... Oh, okay, I have to shoot the dinosaurs. I'm not reading the instructions for these, by the way. Rule number 1 of games... do read any instructions that appear before you play the game. And ideally, if you have an instruction manual to hand, read that too before you play the game. 50% of PlayStation games you'll have a much better time with if you just read the instructions beforehand. Back in the day, because they came in the box, that was the intended thing that you were meant to do. Okay, shoot at least 16 targets in the flashing order. Oh, fuck. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, we got it. Lovely stuff. Of course, there's a Powerpuff Girl game on the PS1. Everyone loves that franchise. I've played that Powerpuff Girls game very briefly. Oh, that's a rough game. Chemical Extraction, I think it's called. I like checked it out like one day just out of morbid curiosity because I was like, man, you know, I would like a good Powerpuff Girls game on the PlayStation. It is oof. It's like a kind of a Power Stone clone, oddly enough. But that's about where all my kind words for start and end. Oh, not a PS1 game last night. I broke into Broke the rank in Battle Garega and reached 100% rank in a couple of seconds in the second stage because of sprites. Damn. Fair play to you. Congratulations, you received 100 messages today at Restream chat. Thanks, Restream. Really appreciate that. Have you seen all the classic PS1 games on GOG? I have. I think it's a really cool thing that they're getting them out onto GOG. And I think, you know, ideally, right, if you're gonna, like, my whole thing is, like, if you're gonna play a PlayStation game on a PC, you should probably be just better off emulating it in most cases, you know. It's not too hard to do that, but if you want to drop a bit of money and, you know, actually pay for a PlayStation game, GOG is probably the best way to do it. If you're going to get it on Steam or whatnot, especially with, like, the new Dino Crisis releases on there, you're going to get hit with a lot of, you know, no real bonus features, a bit of Capcom DRM, things like that. So seeing them pop up on GOG is probably the best case scenario. Which, yeah, you can just get an emulator, you can play whatever you want. Hell yeah. You've cleared 83 stages in... Oh no, have you cleared 83 stages in beginner mode yet? No, I have not. No, I have not. You have to probably don't talk about Electronic Arts or what Western games made a ton of PlayStation games. I mean, do you think I don't talk about them because they're from the West, or... Because, I mean, the first video I did on that was Psygnosis, and they're a Western company. The real reason I don't talk about this is that it's just a tremendous amount of work to do that stuff. I don't just pluck what company I want to talk to out of thin air. I'm just going to do all the Ubisoft games. You know how much research it is to figure out all that stuff? THQ, Ubisoft, Electronic Arts. It's an incredible amount of work. And if I want to do that, I actually want to talk about those things. I have to kind of be in the mood to do it. And I personally have a preference for Japanese and arcade style games. And that's why a lot of those things are the ones that I talk about first. See. Hello, gang. Have you ever covered Ape Escape? I can't remember. I'd argue it's bordering the forgotten category despite how big it was at the time. I mean, if you're in the field of PS1 games, Ape Escape is definitely not forgotten. It's definitely one of the most spoken about PS1 games in at least the circles that I'm in. But I haven't covered it yet, and I think a big part of that is that, you know, Ape Escape, at least for me, is it's a pretty formative game that I was playing on the PlayStation, and I also think it has, you know, top 5 soundtrack on the console. So I don't really know when and how I'd want to talk about it. That's the problem, I think, but like, because if you notice on the channel, I haven't really talked about a lot of the major big hits, and that's one is because I feel a lot of people have already talked about them before, and I don't necessarily have a lot to add to the conversation. But similarly, I also want to talk about them in the appropriate context. And honestly, another thing as well is that just making a video about a game on its own, not many people watch that shit anymore. YouTube's kind of changed a lot since over the past few years. You don't just make a video on a game and people watch it anymore. It doesn't work that way. You have to make some sort of grand statement video these days if you want to get people to watch it. So I can't just be like, hey guys, here's a video on Ape Escape. No one will watch that shit, unfortunately. I'm sad to say. It doesn't work that way anymore. Those times are a-changing. So I have to think carefully about what I'm going to make and how I'm going to make it. Because it takes a lot of time to do this stuff. And, you know, less and less time these days to make these things. So I really have to carefully consider what I want to do. For some reason, Capcom actually just removed their DRM from Resident Evil 4 Remake. No idea why. I think they kept it for their games. That's a weird one. I mean, honestly, truth be told, like, I know a lot of people care very strongly about DRM to some degree. It's you know, it's kind of a whatever thing for me. It's there, it's inevitable in a lot of cases. You can choose to go with it if you want or not, but I don't know. As always, they say vote with your wallet. I'm surprised you didn't mention Australia Sydney 2000 for the Capcom video. Well, I mentioned in another video that I missed it, as I usually miss one game, and that's why I didn't talk about it. In fact, I talked about it in a different video, so that's probably why. Once again, the joys of streaming and talking to people are very high. This particular point blank game has some really good cameos, as you can see, if you know your Namco characters. Yeah, see, I like doing the wheel games because it's like at the end of the day, right? If I'm gonna be making a video on something, it's gonna be something that I personally get a kick out of, and I like playing stuff that's kind of just dealt to me at random because I'm gonna play a lot of stuff that I don't really know a tremendous amount about. Honestly, it's kind of a case where if I know a lot about a game already, I don't really kind of want to go through it again. I want to at least learn something a bit new when I'm playing it myself. You know, if I'm gonna go to the effort of making a video. So I'm happy to play stuff that I played before, but similarly, I'd also like to play and experience some new stuff in the process of doing it. And that's why with the, you know, if you're going to do like the wheel games or something, I mean, Japan-only stuff, it's very likely I'm going to play something I've never played before. And then with Obscure and Forgotten and stuff like that, even if I do play a game that I haven't, you know, I played before, I'm going to likely get a couple that I haven't played before in the process, so it's a nice little addition. Shoot all 5 fake Dr. Dons. There they are. They're all hanging out. Where's the last one? There we go. Got the lads. When they released the brightest English patch, a full Steam series would kill. That would draw tens of views, yes. Honestly, I would love to play through brightest again once the... I say once the English patch comes out, you know. I think a good thing to remember is that while a lot of these patches get started by people, there's no guarantee they're ever going to get finished, you know? People are putting a lot of work into them. It takes a lot of time to do it. So for me, it's just a case of hoping for the best and be happy with whatever gets dealt to me. Brightest is one I would love, but it's also a pretty hefty game with a lot of text in it too, so, you know, we'll see how it goes. But if it ever does happen, and hopefully it does happen, that'll be a great one to stream. Are those PS2 videos ever going to come out? Yeah, hopefully. Do you prefer playing retro on a CRT on a monitor or a monitor? I mean, ideally, I'd like to play it on a CRT if possible, but, you know, a lot of this stuff is, what's the preferred way to play something? The preferred way to play something is in, like, the best setting. Nice TV, nice comfy chair, all original hardware, that kind of thing, but it's not always the way that you're going to be able to play things. I think I've learned over the years that I'm just happier to be able to play a game at all, have the time to do it, sit down and do it when I can. I play a lot of my stuff at the moment. I got one of those AYN Thors, those little emulation devices. Been playing lots of PS2 stuff on that, been playing lots of PS1 stuff on that. It's a great way to play the games. And, you know, if I had the space and the setup to play stuff on a CRT on original hardware, which I do in some cases, but it's honestly, it's just not as convenient in a lot of cases for me to actually sit down and get stuck into things. Most of the time I play stuff while traveling to work, or on the couch downstairs, or in bed, you know? Gotta make time where you can. Did you see that Sega Gaga finally got an English patch? I did, and I've seen there's lots of drama over usage of AI in it, so I'm just going to wait until it is, I don't know, tidied up to whatever degree it is. Usually once I see a patch comes out, I kind of look and see if there's any drama that follows it, and there's a lot of drama surrounding that Sega Gaga patch, so I'll put it this way, I've got enough keep me busy as it is, so I'm in no rush to play it, and if I am going to finally sit down and play that game proper, I'm just going to wait until it's in the best form that I can play it in, so that's just the way I'm going to do it. Thanks, guys. Samurai Jack's have given up and never seen a Panzer Dragon Sega re-release. Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think we've even had we've had those remakes of Panzer Dragon 1 and 2, which are... Ugh. I think there's probably more likeliness of getting those out in some playable form before we ever see Saga make it out, but at the very least, you know, I think Saturn emulation is like not too bad these days. That's getting a lot better all the time, so it's at least playable. It's within reach, you know. There was a period back years ago where if you wanted to play Panzer Dragoon Saga, you pretty much needed to have a Saturn, a physical one there. Nowadays, at least I think you can play it without investing too much money. But it would be great to see it make it out. I don't really think Sega's that interested in releasing any of their old games, unless it's like in a Yakuza arcade port for some reason. Yeah, the translation is unfortunately not good. Stefan the Mongol, thank you so much for the follow. I'm not really great at keeping up with things on these chats, so if anybody follows me or something and I don't shout them out, I apologize. I'm going to do better. Oh, this is great. Look at this, yeah. These are the guys right here. Yeah, it's cool to see how much of the PC, like, D or recompilation scenes are happening. You know, I'm not super into, like, playing kind of, like, this sort of, I suppose, idealized version of a game where you can kind of, like, iron out the quirks or the flaws in a game. I kind of like just playing games in the, at least, you know, a semi-traditional sense, but I do think it's nice for a lot of people, especially with, like, N64 stuff, like Mario Kart or Zelda and whatnot. It does look pretty cool to be able to play those things at like 4K and buttery smooth. More options are always a good thing, you know? It's all about choice, I think. We have a lot of choice available to us in how we want to play our games these days, so depending on what you want from it and how you want to play it, be it on a CRT, be it on a PC with like a fully native port, or even just like emulator with like a little CRT filter over it, or even upscale to whatever you like. You know, as long as you're having a good time, as long as you're playing them, as long as you're playing and experiencing the games, I think that's the main thing. It's all about choice. Shoot at least 22 skeleton sharks. Don't mind if I do. Yeah. Oh. Oh. You hate to see it. Oh, so sad. I would have, no joke, spent full price for a collection of Sega arcade racing games. Daytona. Yeah, for real. You know, almost every other day I discover like a new Sega arcade game from like the late 90s or early 2000s, some sort of racing game, and it's like the most colorful game you've ever seen with like crazy graphics. Like, if they can pack Scud Racer and Emergency Call Ambulance, even I would take just any one of those games. I'd be delighted with. There's like one really cool Sega racing game that I love called Motor Rage, which finally got like a port in Judgment, I think it was. It's like Road Rash. It's like a cyberpunk Road Rash kind of dealio. And I was like, man, this is like one of the best race racing games I've ever played. And then it just took like, I don't know, 20 or so years, and then you have to buy a completely different game, walk to the arcade to be able to play it. Absolutely insane. But hey, it's something. Now look forward to the new music as well as new videos from you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. You can use Saturn and N64 and Misters these days for super accurate emulation. You know, I've got one of those, I don't know if you've seen it, the Super Station from Taki Udon, which is kind of like the Mister inside like a PlayStation shell. It has a little like kind of easy to use UI. I think that's the goal of it anyway. I picked one up. I haven't got mine yet because I ordered it with the CD add-on thing that you get with it. It allows you to kind of play your own disc from it. But ideally I got it just because I thought it might be an easy way for me to be able to capture Pocket Station stuff, because you can plug in PlayStation hardware into it. And Pocket Station stuff is kind of the big issue if you want to like capture stuff correctly. Like, I have the ability to play Japanese PlayStation games, but a lot, like, not all of them are that cheap, unfortunately. I'm afraid. So if I ever wanted to do a video on the Pocket Station, which is just one of the many videos I would love to do at some stage, I figured the Super Station would be the way to do it. At least in theory, anyway. We'll see whenever it arrives and it gets here. As always, no rush. Oh, thank you for... Oh, my pal Robot. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it, buddy. That's really kind of you. And there we go. We got the cute cats. Yeah, all the buttons are working. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Hook259. I've been playing with a RetroTink. I luckily managed to get on eBay in the UK to revise just the right amount of options. I got a RetroTink, not the 5X, not the, oh dear. Not the 4K one, right? I was like looking at like the price of the 4K one, and it's a bit rich for my blood, you know? Like, this is kind of the point where you get to like hardware, which is, this stuff is really cool on paper, but I don't know if I need that level of stuff. But I did get a 5X, which was costly enough in itself. And it did, like, ideally I had the 5X for capturing PS2 stuff whenever I inevitably get around to that. That's, let me see, if I hit the button here, hit my cat camera, my cat isn't. You can see here there's a PS2 and a clear shell. That's connected up to a RetroTink. And I should be able to capture stuff from real hardware via that. And that's like set up with like some micro SDs and things like that. So it's a pretty cool setup for when I eventually get around to that. But yeah, for that kind of thing, RetroTink is perfect for it because I have to play that on a monitor and it just means the capture looks so much nicer. You can really get it to look very close to a CRT on it, which is really cool. But it's just, I'm such like a low maintenance guy. It's a surprising amount of work to get it to look just right. And once you get a device like that where you're kind of tinkering with very minute settings to make sure it looks right, you kind of stop knowing what looks correct, if that makes sense. Every time I'd start it, I'm like, I don't know if that looks right. I don't know if I have to change something again, and then I kind of hyper obsess over changing details on it. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Oh no, Sean, are you a Pepsi over a Coke guy? Oh man, I am a Pepsi king. And look, I've no hate for you if you're a Coke guy, but don't ever come to me with Pepsi slander. Rule number 1 of the Sean Johnson fan club: no Pepsi slander. You can call me what you want, but don't slander the good name of the Pepsi Corporation. I need my brown water, let me tell you. There we go. Right, gang. Well, good news. I think everything is working. I think everything is working as I hoped. Christopher Foss Music. We just adopted a new cat, so we have 2. They're slowly getting along. Oh, amazing! You know, we have 2 cats and we got them as kittens together. They're from the same litter, so they already know each other. I'd love to get a 3rd cat, but I am always a little bit afraid that they won't get along. Like if we get like a new little boy cat and bring them in, they'll bully them. But it's cool that they're getting along. It's in the ideal world, my house would just be full of cats. But 2 cats are definitely better than 1. So I'd recommend anybody out there, if you've only got 1 cat, double that as soon as you can. Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to like emulators and upscalers and playing on original hardware, playing in emulation, there was just a part of me a few years ago that just kind of, all of that kind of washed off over me. I just don't really care a whole lot, you know? I know a lot of people do care about it, but I just don't have the money, the time, the effort, the resources to put into playing things in the perfect way. I've got my little tiny TV here behind me, my few little consoles. Is it synced up perfectly? Probably not. But it's okay. It does the job. I have another little TV up here. I have a little TV here beside me. Everything is good enough. I can play my games from start to finish. And I have more ways of playing games than I've ever had before in my entire life. And if I could see myself now as a youngster and be like, wow, what a world you live in. What a world you live in. Just doubling it with cats in general, yeah. It's really good. Video Game EX. Love how you give games proper chances. I mean, it's just the case of I just feel at this stage, you know, if I'm gonna review a game, it's worth getting to the end of it, because let's be fair, especially with PlayStation games, they're not tremendously long. Like, you can finish the average PlayStation game in about 2 to 3 hours, so you might as well see it to the end. And I've been surprised, you know, there's a lot of PlayStation games, or just games in general, where if I played them for 15, 20 minutes, you know, I'd be like, I don't know if I like this very much. And then Little while later, play it for another half an hour, really get used to the controls, really get to grips with things. I end up liking things a lot more than I did at the very beginning. And I think nowadays, especially in a world where you kind of you have access to like tons of games, it's really easy to play a game for a few minutes, go, oh, I'm not really feeling this, and then drop it and move on to another one. I've learned that, invest a bit more time into the game, and you might be surprised how much you end up liking it. Now, of course, I'm not saying invest time into a game that you don't enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, drop it. But, if I'm going to at least review something for the sake of a YouTube video, got to give it its fair due. It's the right way to do it. Let me see. What is your favorite game you talk about in any of the videos, Juan? I really quite like... There's a lot of games that I really enjoy talking about over the course of this. I'm kind of on a Threads of Fate kick at the moment. I've been really enjoying thinking back about Threads of Fate and Gamera. I mean, Gamera's my favy. I love that one. Pantera Player. What's your favorite modern games? I don't really play, I'm like a lapsed League of Legends player, believe it or not, but I don't really play League of Legends anymore because I like being happy as a person. But at the moment, I've been really enjoying all the new Resident Evil games. I'm actually replaying through old Resident Evil games at the moment to work my way up to playing Requiem. I just finished Resident Evil 5 in co-op for the first time, and I had a really good time playing through that. It's an absolutely insane, stupid little game. And now I get to look forward to Resident Evil 6 in co-op, which is going to be fun. Manacor is now following. Thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate that. But at the moment, modern game-wise, I think I said earlier in the stream, I've been playing Marathon, which is an extraction shooter. I thought I would hate the idea of an extraction shooter. Absolutely love this game. I'm like hooked. Marathon's got its claws into me deep. It's such a cool, weird, interesting little game with a lot of depth to it. And I just, every time I play it, I'm like, this is the coolest shit. I love it, I think it's really, really great. For some reason, Golden Sun just popped in my head, and I'm curious if you played it. I've tried to get into Golden Sun a fair few times, and for whatever reason, I just always seem to bounce off of it. I have a friend who's like Golden Sun's like one of his favorite series ever. Shout out to Ken. Doubt he's watching, but shout out to Ken Lenaud. He's a big Golden Sun boy. So I figured I've tried to play it a few times, but it's just never clicked with me. But I think that's an issue with like role-playing games. You really have to invest a fair bit of time into it. And the problem is like when you're getting into, like if you play a role-playing game for about 5 or 10 hours, I've got another at least minimum 10, 20 hours to get into this. So it's a big time investment. And especially with Golden Sun, you got like 3 games in that series. So we'll get around to it. But I do love Camelot as a studio. I'm a big fan of their golf games. So I've always got time for Camelot. Always. Let me see. I gave up on Trails of Cold Steel after like 8 hours of play, came back a few months later and did complete it, which I'm very grateful. I gave it a second chance because it introduced me to greatness. See, the Trails series is like a notorious banger of a series, but there's so many games and there's so much story. I think nowadays, especially when they made the remake of Trails of the Sky, the first chapter one, it's now like the perfect entry point to get into that series. So I'm actually super excited to get around to that someday as well when I do that. Hello there, Russian Sean fans in the spot. Hell yeah, buddy. Hope things are going well. Ori 5 Mercenaries mode is addicting. We went into like a very few brief Mercenaries games, and it's I can see that being very addictive as well. It's the problem is like I don't want to, once I finish the game, I'm like I gotta move on and play a new one as soon as possible. Golden Sun's incredibly slow and talky, at least in the beginning. I managed to get past that opening to Golden Sun is a bit of a rough one, but I made it a bit further next time. What's your opinion on Croc 2? I don't like it as much as the first Croc game, despite the very clear improvements that are in it. I think there's just a few too many. One is that I think it's quite difficult. It's like a very hard game and not in like the fairest of ways, I don't think. And also there's a few like I always think back to this mission where you have to collect all the baby gobbos. Oh, it was a rough time. I just like the simplicity of Croc 1 more than Croc 2 as a whole. But I do enjoy Croc 2. I think it's a lot of fun. Does any beat 'em up need a release that supports widescreen 16:9 mode, like Guardian Hero Streets of Rage remake? Maybe. I suppose so. I'm still waiting for your review of Thousand Arms. It is in the wheel. I think it might be. I'm not even sure if Thousand Arms is in the wheel. It might be. I have a feeling it might be, but I'm not 100%. Only reason I got into Trails was because of lockdown. Yeah, look, lockdown would have been the perfect time to get into Trails. The only reason I got into YouTube because of lockdown is because I had too much time and I didn't want to go insane. And, here I am. What is the best Mario role-playing game? I haven't played the most of them. I haven't played a huge amount of the Paper Mario ones out there, but I recently... I would have said Thousand Year Door, but I did play Super Mario RPG not too long ago, and I think that's probably the best one. It's just really strong. It's a really great game. Also, I bought Mobile Suit Gundam's Ionic Front yesterday and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. Is Ionic Front the PS2 one where it's kind of like a simulation-y war style game? I think I've seen people play that one before. It sounds really cool on paper. I think I hear people speak really highly of it. It's really cool. Crocking it all up in here. Yeah, I'd love to. I'm a big croc boy. It's really good. Probably need to hop back on Saga soon since I haven't done anything really for the last few months since finishing Frontier 2 Remaster. Have you played the remake of... God, I don't know which one it is. It's not Frontier 2. It's like the most recent like 3D Saga remake. I think it's a remake of the second Super Nintendo game. I'm not too sure. It's really cool. I had a good time playing that. Yeah, that's the Ionic Front. Yeah, I would love to play Ionic Front. The Gundam games on the PS2 are pretty good across the board. I want to do a series like Obscure Forgotten PS1 games, but both PS1 and PS2 games, and use physical copies because I think it's better than emulation. Hell yeah, look, if you think it's better than emulation, go for it. Good luck, although just hope for the best, right? If you're using real games and you land on a game that's worth like 500 quid, just don't bankrupt yourself. That's the problem. Emulation, whether you think it's good or bad, if you're going to make a game where you're choosing things at random and, it's good to have every game available on hand versus having to pick up the physical copies for them if needs be. And I pick up a lot of the physical copies of games that I do play. But my way that I go with buying physical nowadays is that I tend to buy games that if I played them via emulation and I like them and I know I like them, then I'll buy them because I have more of an attachment to them, if that makes sense. It also means I'm more selective with what I buy. And generally what I buy is something that I know I already like and I'm going to play it again, if that makes sense. Romancing Saga 2. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was talking about. I have bought one game over $200 US. Panzer Dragoon Saga. Yes, I also bought Panzer Dragoon Saga. I bought Panzer Dragoon Saga years ago when it was expensive, but not like crazy expensive. I thought I would treat myself for my birthday one year, and yeah, it's probably the right way to do things. What are the best FPS games on the PS1? There's a lot of really good ones. I would say both the Medal of Honor games, Medal of Honor and Medal of Honor Underground. The port of Quake 2 is really fun. Alien Resurrection is pretty cool, as is Alien Trilogy. Doom on the PS1 is really cool as well. Fantastic soundtrack. Disruptor, also a really good game. I would say, like, generally speaking, the first person shooter games on the PS1, while I would say they get overshadowed by the N64, and it's kind of banger library of FPS games that it has. There's more good than bad in the FPS world on the PS1, I would say. Sean Johnson, favorite tambourine game or maraca game? What is better? Oh, you're referring to Samba de Amigo or the... I can't even remember the name of the tambourine Sega game. I mean, it was Samba all the way, of course. But I just like a monkey with a maraca, Would Forsaken count as an FPS? I'd call Forsaken an FPS. I mean, it's the 6 degrees of freedom kind of thing, but it generally functions the same as an FPS, just with weird movement. Forsaken and, Descent are also pretty good too. I would like that. Do you use an OSSC and or RetroTink, or do you always emulate when capturing footage? I have a RetroTink, not an OSSC, but I generally go for emulation just for ease of capturing, Although I keep everything at software at the most basic level, so at least it's a good representation of what you would get, if that makes sense. But once again, I'm not super big on strictly using real hardware for that sort of thing. You're getting generally the same experience with the game anyway. And if people don't like that, that's fine. That's okay. They can watch people who do record on real hardware if needs be. Although, as I've always said before, if I was going to go on to PS2 stuff, purely just because PS1 emulation is significantly further along than PS2 and is way more consistent, I do have the methods to capture on hardware for PS2 when I get around to that. But even in the process of setting up a RetroTink and a capture card and trying to capture things, it's so much more hassle. It's so much more work. So many more things can go wrong. And they often do. And believe me, at the end of the day, right, it's enough work putting together a video as it is. Once you start adding extra additional things on top of it, you're just kind of like, some days you're like, fuck, I don't know if I'm ours doing this stuff, Because at the end of the day, right, I always think this to myself. Being here on YouTube, right, and making videos It's purely because I enjoy the stuff that I play. I have no real desire to be like a YouTuber or be like a YouTube guy or a well-regarded person. I just like talking about games that I like. And there are days where I'm like, man, I could just be playing games and not spending time writing or editing or doing all this stupid shit. So for me, to help me keep doing YouTube and to help keep making videos, it's really a case of me making life as easy as possible for myself, That's the way I like to think about these things. Samurai Jacks. If you had a Saturn in the late 90s and probably had at least one high-priced game, I had a few. I've told this story many times before, but the first thing I ever bought with my paycheck, with my first ever job when I was 16 years old, was a Saturn. And that would have been about 2004, 2005, give or take that period of time. So I bought a Saturn for 80 quid, 80 euro, not including inflation, whichever else. And I got about 30 games with it. And I got so many rare games with that. Nobody cared about the Saturn at that time. Retro gaming and kind of collecting old games just wasn't like a big thing at that point. It was still kind of niche. So most of my Saturn library I just acquired by accident. Literally just bought a bundle off eBay and got like, I'd say 20 of the 30 games I got are worth over about 100 quid now. Absolutely insane. Sonic Jam, Sonic Racing, Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2. Oh, it's Marvel Fighters, PAL versions of Marvel Fighters. My God, how lucky was I? It was only when I realized that you had to really buy Japanese stuff is when it all went downhill. If you wanted a decent collection. But, I do enjoy my PAL package of stuff. Did you play Batman and Robin on PS1? The game was so much ahead of its time, and one of the examples when controls and performance makes you drop the game in first 15 minutes. I have played Batman and Robin on the PS1. I did a video really early on the channel where I looked at all the games that were related to DC Comics, which, as it turns out, are pretty much only Batman games, except for the Superman prototype. And I thought Batman and Robin, conceptually, one of the coolest, most forward-thinking games on the console, just an absolute nightmare to play. I really tried my best with that one, but my God, it fights you every step of the way. It is absolutely dreadful. It is absolutely dreadful. For the first episode of the series, I will only pick games in my collection right now because I do not want to buy games immediately. Yeah, I think that's a good way of doing it. If you're going to do it with stuff that you have, literally put games that you already own and put them into the pile. The issue for me is that since I kind of migrated to doing games that people can suggest, literally everything's on the table, and people tend to suggest games that are very expensive. I can't tell you how many times I've finished playing a game and I went, wow, that's really great, let me see how much it costs to buy, and I look at it and go, oh, I don't know if I'd rather have food on my table this week instead of that, but yeah, it's a good way of doing it. There's loads of ways of going about doing these things. You kind of find what's important to you, what matters to you, and then work it all out for yourself, But for me, this little system of kind of just using OBS and then using DuckStation, it's what I used when I first started the channel, and it's still the same system that I use up until this point, Like, I always think if you ever wanted to make a YouTube video yourself, you don't need the best mic in the world. You just need Audacity, some basic knowledge of how to edit audio, OBS, and an emulator, and a nice idea or two, and you can make something really cool if you put your mind to it. So that's what I would say people should do. Louis Trulli, you played Rival Schools? Hell yeah, I played Rival Schools. I love Rival Schools. It's one of my favorite fighters on the console for surezies. Let me see. I feel your brother for the first episode of the series. Let me go through these. Astral Alchemist Meek, Sean Stream, I love to see you. Cheers, my polygonal pal. Thanks for stopping by. Really, really appreciate it. It's really cool. Hypersonic, hello from Dublin. Glad I could catch the stream. Hell yeah, man. It's awesome. It's good to see some Dubliners in here. Opinions of Beavis and Butthead getting their unreleased PlayStation 1 game finally. I mean, oddly enough, this is the second Beavis and Butthead game on the PlayStation. So it would have been the second had it have come out. I didn't even know there was an unreleased Beavis and Butthead game until they showed that prototype. I haven't really looked a whole lot into it because I feel like at some point I'd probably like to talk about unreleased games that made it out, because there's a ton of playable prototypes for games that are out there. But as much as I like Beavis and Butthead, they've always struck me as are these guys going to make a good video game? I don't know. But I always think it's cool whenever you see any sort of unreleased game make it out in the end. Hello from hell. It's hot, hot, hot. Oh, man, I'd love to be there right now. It's cold, cold, cold where I am. I need to turn the heating on. Okay. Right, guys. Well, I think it's going to be it for the test stream. I think things are going well. I think everything is working okay. Now, the reason I started this test stream is one, like I said, I wanted to kind of test cross streaming between YouTube and Twitch. It seems like it's working. There's significantly more viewers on YouTube than Twitch, but that's to be completely expected, as I would have thought. I'm hoping to do a few more streams in the future. They're probably going to be just playing through a full game in one evening or one afternoon. That's kind of the streams that I like to do. It just means that if people want to go back and watch a playthrough of a game, we'll have something up there for it. But also, very recently, we have, at the moment on Steam, there's an Irish games sale that's on. So it's kind of celebrating indie games that have been made across the island of Ireland, and there is a lot of them, and they are very good. So on Sunday, tomorrow at 7 p.m, I'm going to be doing a stream of some Irish indie games, just as help to support kind of the independent scene in the country. And I'll be doing another stream on Tuesday, which is St. Patrick's Day. I'm playing a few more Irish indie games there as well. So not my usual wheelhouse, but I've already covered all the Irish-made PlayStation games. Believe it or not, there is a video of that, which is very specific. But I think just to change things up and just kind of to... I wouldn't say I've been feeling a little bit homesick lately, but I do like to go back to the homeland whenever possible. And I would like to check out some Irish-made games. So if you want to check us out here tomorrow at 7 o'clock GMT, which is about this time, basically, I'll be playing some indie games. And then same thing on Tuesday as well, St. Patrick's Day. So I'll have my Irish jersey on. I might have a pint of Guinness here. We'll see how we get on. But it'll be a bit of fun either way. Right, gang. Well, look, thank you so much for stopping in on a Saturday. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to see all your messages. Thank you for all the kind words about the videos. Hopefully, we'll have a new proper one out soon. I think it's going to be a good one. I have a feeling, but we'll wait and see whenever it does get around there. But anyway,